Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the breakfast show. It's been a while since I was away for some business trip and now I am back, and we all know what this market is turning out to be. Market corrections. That's right, market corrections is happening right now. So what can we do about this? Now, definitely we have seen the US has hit the double top, which I will report on the podcast later on today. But pretty much of the KLCI has also turned red Pentagon last Friday. This is also denoted by the huge selling that we see further on by the foreign funds. So let's take a look at what we have for you this morning, and looking into the SmartRobie that we have in here. And of course, let me just switch to a wider chart, and you can see here from my mobile handphone in here, we do have the red Pentagon. This is a 1 month, and switching to a 3 month, you could see the market really tested and trying to break back up to the 1400. Apparently the 1400 remain to be the resistance that you see in here. It does form a double top, so double top usually will take at least another month for the market to move sideways in here before it, and also it also tally very nicely to the upcoming. We all know what's happening, right? The local state election, which will be happening in the coming August 27, which I did talk about it on last Wednesday. So check out the live Facebook that I did last Wednesday for more of those information in here. But this coming Wednesday, I'll be back for another talk, and I'll give you a synopsis what are the title in here. So make sure you share this video in your timeline, and thank you for coming. I really appreciate your time with us this morning here. So this morning sharing will be really focusing a lot on the red Pentagon that we see. Let me just switch to a 1 month chart here, and the resistance remain to be the 1390 and 1400. That is the part where you see the upthrust, the two upthrust bar in here, and the market immediately sell back down in here. We also reviewed our usual Monday hot sectors and also the stock FA collection, because we do believe these are the best defensive play right now, especially the market's not really going anywhere, right? And we do have the last 6 months for the first time in the KLSE over the last 6 years since I start recording and talking about this show. We've been having 6 consecutive down months for the KLCI. Pretty sad, isn't it? Pretty sad, right? But of course, in those of you who are trading some of the penny stock, there are some silver lining in here. And of course, most of the silver lining is something that I've talked about a lot on the live Facebook, were the US market in here. And again, this coming Wednesday, make sure you join me and I'll give you an update what's happening on the US market here. Market's undergoing market volatility, and it's best stick to the Robie FA list. And all this are powered by the Pentagon Guider, and we co-founding creator of Pentagon Guider system in here. And of course, the new features we have for 2023 is the insider buying and selling, so make sure you check it out also in here. Now of course, let's take a look at the KLCI that we have right now, switching to a wider chart here. It's holding, it's important that it must hold, the KLCI hold its base at 1360, so which means maybe the market might just range sideways in here. But should it break below 1360 that you see in the board here, then which is this line here that you see, and that means we will have a stage 4 markdown. We all know stage 4 markdown, it's not really a good thing, especially this market is again reported by the Bloomberg, one of the worst performing stock exchange in the world. Okay, even markets, but it's not much actually. It's only about minus 6%, 7%. I think another stock exchange that done pretty bad as much as us is the SET, the Thailand stock index, that also done pretty well. Again, it is, but I do think that their market will be improving once the political uncertainty will be lifted, which we do see the new Prime Minister later on. But for our local market in Malaysia, the local state election over the 6 states will be a determining factor to see this market ability to go higher in here, such that we do have foreign funds continue to sell off, and any opportunity that they have, and that's seems to be one of the worrying challenges in here. Now, if you look at the VSA 360, which is the KLCI futures, which is a more leading indicator, you can see market also pulled back, rebounded right now at 1370 in here. We were looking for the higher high and higher low. That is one of the technical analysis to determine this market can move higher. You can see that the market just sort of zipped through it around the 1408, but eventually closed back lower in here. So you can say that it did hit higher high, but pull back down, and it's important right now, this low that you see, this bar in here, doesn't go lower than this bar. If it does go lower than this bar, that means the trend is actually turning down, because we do use some of this support and resistance to determine where the market is heading. And also right now, it's a red pentagon. We have the railway track already crossed down. So take note of this situation that we have in here. Now, of course, for those of you who wanted to get on to the stage 2 share, ST2, now, do take note, the ST2 stage 2 shares generally are what we call the continuation of an uptrend. Continuation of uptrend in here. You can just click on ST2 in here. So from what we have this morning in here, we have Sign Property, Teoseng, YTL REITs, Globetronics, UMW and Penta. Let's take a look at some of these that I highlighted here, and we'll show you the market REITs, right? And they are sort of breaking up. Looking at the stock chart here, these are all trending up. You can see YTL REITs, nice pickup in here. Let's look into the 6-month trend, and since green pentagon, you could see, just let me switch to a wider chart, and you can see this switching back to a 1-month chart. You can see since the green pentagon, the market started to move up very nicely. That is for YTL REITs in here. Globetronics has gone up a fair bit, which I do have for myself in here, and to me this is actually later I'll show you the fundamental too. And Globetronics is actually one of the better performing technology stock, but it has been beaten down a lot because it was a test manufacturer. At one point I did ask people, why did it go down so much? It was sort of like a proxy to Intel. Okay, so those of you who have the S&P 500 on the SmartRobie, you can check out Intel, but maybe it is possible that it has unpacked away from Intel in here, as they are also venturing into opto LEDs, something for the automotive industry, and that's why it seems to looking this stock finally breaking back to 140. So all these are perception that we see, and let's take a look at the fundamentals, stock fundamental for Globetronics, and you can see Globetronics in here pay a very decent dividend at 14.3 in here with a PE of 23 times. FA rating is only 1, partly is because the sector average is 28, ROE sector average is 14, the dividend seems to be a good one, 4% in here, giving it, and that's why it's rated on 1 in here. Not the cheapest right now because the market has certainly gone up right now, but this is one good stock, has picked up, but do be careful, the market has run up a bit in here. Corrections is possible, but again we are seeing the KLCI market on the technology stocks catching up. For those of you who have the VSA 360, use it to see whether the technology sectors continue to push upwards. If it does do, then some of these stocks, including Penta, which have not run yet. Okay, Penta is another one that has already started to trend up. Penta, let's look at the stock price in here. Okay, this morning is down 1% in here, and you can see it's really switching to a 1-month chart. It's really after the green pentagon trying to break up, a nice pullback, but if the pullback is over, then we'll see likelihood of Penta, and of course next Monday we'll come back and look at these stocks too. All right, and let's look at the hot sectors. Now, hot sectors is whatever trending in the market in here, and generally the trend about the hot sectors is what we wanted to do. Let's go back to the hot sectors on the left hand side, is to look out those that is currently either number 1, number 2 or number 3. Let's check it out in here. If it doesn't respond, let's do one more time. right? And you can see we have property, construction, plantation, and finance. It's all depending how much you reckon the sectors will be relevant in here. But usually I do see there are some people talking about plantation, about hitting $4,000 because of the weather. Maybe this is something I would like to look at this morning for plantation. And of course, you can also check out construction and property in here. So we will look at the second and third one and then look into the others. But before that, let's look into last week. Okay, last week we were looking at the 26th of June, and this was 2 weeks ago, and those that is already turned green Pentagon were doing much better. Let's look at Bursa, going back to 26 here, and stock price, stock chart here. So Bursa on the 26th, so we just switch to a 1 month chart here. You can just narrow it down. 26, this is 28, 27, and also have the no confirm no supply. Now it's important that the confirm no supply, the market do not break back down to the low of the confirm no supply low. All right, now it's touching in there. If the market break back down, then you need to exit. Now it may form a double bottom in here going up, but again, my viewpoint that this market may not be that optimistic with what we've seen. As I said before, generally when you look at the front part of the KLCI, it actually has turned slightly to the downside. All right, BIMB, another one here, stock chart. Switching to a 1 month chart here. So this is the one that we felt that the market has actually pulled back up and retesting 198. Okay, so 198 may be a good level to be looking into this market here. All right, next we have also, maybe let's take a look at public bank due to the time constraint that we have. And public bank, we have turning red Pentagon. All right, you can see here it actually turned red Pentagon, and you can see the Pentagon guider is not as responsive as it. Generally, when the market is trending up, we will see the responsiveness will be in a favor. It's like what we have said before in the VSA. The green Pentagon and red Pentagon need to be at the right place. All right. So this is just merely indicating the signal is likely to turn. And if the overall trend, which is the underlying strength of the stocks, beginning to not agree with the Pentagon, and that's why we will see the market generally fall back down. So use the green Pentagon, red Pentagon as an up signal and down signal in here. For those of you who, if you look back the last 3 bars or the last 3 months here, the last 3 months, you could see Pentagon guider, which indicated the blue trend zone isn't that responsive yet until the trend change. But of course, you can see from here the red Pentagon were more responsive since the last drop that we have from way back in January for the public bank in here. Okay, so let's move on to next. What we have here is to look at the 26th of June, the hot sectors. We only have one. The last week was Sindex. So Sindex here. Okay, stock chart, stock comment here. Okay, and so we can see last month we actually have this marking just turning up to 340, and right now that's on 26th of June. And if you go back here, the market is holding up nicely on 36th of at 340 in here. Let's take a look at the fundamentals since this is FA collection stocks here. And you could see this is rated 4 out of 8 with a dividend of 2. The sector average is only doing 9%, yeah, for the so-called industrial product services, and the PE is 12 times. So Sindex is rated 4 in here because it's performing better than the sector average in here. So that was last week in here. And don't forget, you can also subscribe to our daily newsletter, which I will post some of the relevant news that I see and a couple of our winner and loser from our Pentagon guider. So for this week, the Robie FA stocks, we have 10th of July. You can also check it out in here by switching to Robie FA's collection. And you can see we have couple. I like these two stocks. TH plantation. Let's take a look at the first one in here. But take note, also plantation sectors are in the third strongest in here, and there are news about this stocks able to pick up high, but you will see there's a lot of upthrust. A lot of upthrust that is a sign of weakness, and such that the Pentagon guidance not that responsive, that it continued to go higher and higher in here. All right, so take note. But fundamental wise, let's take a look at fundamental for TH plantation. Okay, and it is a rated 4, paying a 5.7 dividend, ROE of 8.4, but the PE is only almost 8 times. Pretty cheap. Very cheap lah. The PE is only 8 times compared to sector average about 14 times here. Okay, the other one is RC cap, but take note, RC cap has run up a lot, and right now is exhibiting upthrust. Okay, so usually upthrust, like we see in the past, that you see right in the middle here, right, the market actually pull back in here. So we are seeing weakness coming in here, right? So let's see next week, by the time we come back to here, what will RC Capital really do. But weakness is actually coming now, and let's look at stock chart and here, and look at this in here. You could see if the pullback is nice, it's going to retest back 240, and it will be another chapter whether this market can really pick up higher. But you can see from 1 month chart, the upthrust at 240 was significant, as we've seen profit taking by generally by the smart money in here, but it has gone up a fair bit. Just take note of it in here. Fundamental wise, let's take a look at this. And you can see fundamental, it is rated 5 out of 8, pays a 12% dividend compared to sector average only 5.4, sector average of 10.3, but the ROE is 17% here. PE is 12 times, slightly cheaper, that's all. Okay, interesting enough, right? And for this week, 10th of July, the hot sectors, okay, we'll be looking at, we can look at we did look at the TH plantation, right? So some of them will be TH resources, Katam in here. Check some of those who has pretty good setup. But right now, even if you can see from the 3rd of July, some of this turned green Pentagon. Market really has pulled back also, because there was a news that the stocks from the CPO will be very high, as such that, supply and demand, so this market could not move higher from here onwards. So take note of it, spend some time checking out all the SmartRobie in here, and do your research through these apps in here. And of course, one of the great proposition about the Pentagon guide for those of you in here is the green Pentagon and the red Pentagon, indicating up signal and down signal in here, right? And of course, what we want to highlight in this show this morning is to use the notification which comes with it in here, and the notification will help you to notify you either in the pagi or malam, morning or night in here. Any stocks that you have, put it in there, and of course you can also track them by the what we call the upper and lower bound prices in here. So let's say I can put one in just to share with you. Add stocks, I will just add this is US anyway, I gotta go one for the Malaysian one, KLSE, right? I add up here, add stocks, right? You can see, so for AH this stocks this is you can see price below, price above, you can actually add those amendments. But should it has a green Pentagon or down this, let me just remove this again. I don't like this stock. Let me just remove this, delete, yes. And if I just want to have Air Asia, add stocks, okay, and maybe I'll just look for AMB, right? So it merely means that right now AMB is green Pentagon. So whenever you have a red Pentagon or change in the status in the Pentagon from red to green or green to red, it will inform you there. So make sure you use this facility to your advantages, in here, and such. You can add it up in a tab just like what I've just showed you here, right? And remember, whenever you see a blue cell in here, that actually indicated there is a green Pentagon or red Pentagon highlighting it, and you need to read it because it is only there valid for the day, just showing you the green Pentagon when it's first notified. Very good for those of you who's monitoring the share. So with green and red Pentagon alert, up signal and down signal, we got you covered, right? For all your own personal stock, and it will be modified right, and shown on your notification. So make sure you check your notification every morning and night. At night is about maybe 10:30, 11 there. This alert will be out, and it's freebie for newbie, especially good for very newbie in here. Ensure you enable it in here. Now for this coming Saturday, there's a lot of talk about the sixth wave. Now, what is it, the sixth wave? The sixth wave is actually the AI boom. Now, there are talk about market correction, which I do see right now on the KLCI and also the US market in here. So, will the AI boom continue to push this market higher? So far, we can see the Nasdaq and the has gone up almost 30%. Will the sixth wave, which is the AI boom, continue to press this market to go higher, or are we seeing a stock market correction? So make sure you join me this coming Wednesday at 9:30 in here. All right, so as a summary, the KLCI I think is well supported at this moment. Is will likely to move sideways in here, but do take note, it has turned red Pentagon. Should it break below the 1360, we will see a beginning of a markdown set. I don't think so it's going to go down beyond the 1360 because unless they are pretty confident that the current government in play, which is the Pakatan Harapan and Barisan Nasional, are likely to lose more seats in the state election, then you'll see you're likely to break down. But those are my prediction in here. And don't forget, also, you can sign up for our daily newsletter and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You have not to follow all our video that we have. And also my handler, TikTok in here, and just updating for those who like it. And for those of you who are interested to upgrade your skill from the SmartRobie, check out our VSA 360 in here with new features, visual trading plan, risk to reward, and stock alert and notification. Also a more advanced one widget that you should have, right? And lots of people giving us good review in here, right? And right now, if you want to go, James, can we use it? Yes, James is asking whether green and red Pentagon, can we use it for SGX and US market? The answer is yes. All right. That's right. Just use it in there, and that will be your big beneficial of using this market in here. All right. So that's all we have for this morning. And if you have any stocks, do let us know, and we'll be back for more on coming Wednesday. Bye-bye.